Tempest Bookshop, this is Rick.
Yes, do you have a copy of...
Sorry, didn't catch that.
Do you have a copy of...
Can you speak up a bit or turn up your volume? I didn't get that.
I said, holy shit!
Holy shit. Managing manure to save mankind. Ask for it, quietly, at your local bookstore or at chelseagreen.com.
When people ask us, how come your tomatoes taste so much different? I always say, it's all about the crap we put in the ground. When you eat some of these tomatoes, you'll understand. All we fertilize all of our ground with is nothing but our composted manure. To Gaylord Farm, we feel like it completes a cycle with the earth, the animals, the moon, the sun, people. It's a completeness that comes about. And without it, we just feel like, you know, we don't do a good job of feeding the soil to make our produce grow properly.
We used to have a pretty sizable dairy herd here, one of the biggest in the valley. And cow manure was a big part of the fertility, and it became mechanized. Cattle used to be put in barns all winter long, and then in the spring, you would go in and start forking it out with a fork. So it was all waved in with hay and manure, so it came out really hard, really stunk, and it was quite a job. Now we add water to it, and we agitate it and pump it into big wagons which throw it out as a semi-liquid. With the adding of water to make it go through this equipment, you're hauling around thousands of tons of added weight and more fuel to spread it. In a pile, you can do neat things with a pile. Since it doesn't flow, you can take a bucket loader and keep pushing this pile and keep turning this pile until it heats up and creates enough heat to kill off the bad bacteria, to make a compost, to be able to put on fruits, vegetables, lawns and gardens, and become a certified organic fertilizer in compost.
Well, we're an organic dairy farm, and we can't use commercial fertilizers, so we rely almost totally on manure. I think one of the real values of manure is that it's used completely. There's no kind of residue in there that can be toxic to your soil or to your plants. People are always asking me, are your cows really healthier than they were before? And the answer is yes. And they're saying, isn't that just a lot of publicity? I said, well, no, actually it's not. And I didn't know how to explain it to them until the last year or so, when I figured out if you're using commercial fertilizer and growing corn, then you're putting all your crops you're growing have that chemical fertilizer on it. All the corn you grow not only has the commercial fertilizer and the seed coating, it also has the herbicide you're using to have a pure crop. We used to do a lot of things different than we do. We even got to the point where the last 10 years we planted commercial corn that we were using Roundup Ready corn, which simply means that the Roundup herbicide wouldn't kill it. It didn't mean, of course, that it didn't absorb it into the plant, it just didn't kill it, and if it absorbs it into the plant, it ends up in your cow.
We collect the manures from all these pens where all these cattle and pigs and chickens and turkeys are. We mix it all together, and hopefully we can find a balance where it turns into a nice compost. I truly believe that the future of manure is a very strong future. If you use it properly, these farmers can cut their fertilizer costs tremendously. When I was a boy, we used a lot of commercial fertilizers. Now, we've re-educated ourselves and learned how to make this work in a positive direction for everything. The soil, the people, the animals, the crops, and it makes a difference.